ladies and gentlemen, please, can you all respectfully stand up and clap for Dr. Ojibo?
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's actually in place for us to have this session now. You will see the reason why we're joining. I want to anchor it on two platforms. One is what they call PE, which is a personal experience. And the second one is other people's experiences, which is what we've been listening to. But I'll throw more light into it. I actually came for some specific people because I learned some young entrepreneurs in the house today. So I just wanted to change their mindset. Like the last speaker said, you have to be audacious for you to achieve something. So I want to take us from what everybody had said, like being an African entrepreneur and challenges and all that mindset. If you do psychology, there's something they call framing. We'll come into that. I will explain that, then I'll move us away to where we get to the framing and reframing. This section, you have to take it very, very seriously. Most of my teaching will be in stories so that you can remember. Now, one thing with attending seminars and events like this, oftentimes speakers come and they talk and exhaustively about themselves, and they forget about the entrepreneur. So this is all about you. Whoever that you are, whatever you're going through. So we'll share similar stories to help you overcome some of those things, difficulties you've been going through. So the journey begins now. There's this young African entrepreneur, and he went to meet young African warrior. He went to meet an older warrior, and he said, how can I be successful like you? So the old African warrior said, okay, follow me. So while they journeyed very early in the morning, they went towards the stream. On getting to the stream, the old African warrior shoved the head of the young African warrior into the water and held it down there. So this young African warrior was struggling to breathe. After some time, he pulled him out. So he asked him that question. He said, while you are under the water, what do you desire for most? The answer is air. He couldn't think of becoming a great warrior. All he could think of is just one thing, how to breathe. Being an African and growing up, we are actually fashioned into a space. In psychology, they call it framing. Framing, way of thinking. There's a pattern of thinking. So whenever there is problem, challenges, immediately we'll run into our space and we'll begin to attempt to solve the problem from that space. Psychology will call it the framing. That's making an attempt to change from that frame you've carved yourself out. You move a little bit away from it, that I don't want this old way of thinking anymore. And they call that the framing. Then where I want us to get to, where the neuroplasticism will say reframing the mind. Now, you're having a complete paradigm shift. I'll start with a story on that. So there's this man. He works in the coal room. So every evening they do routine check. Any coal room that is empty, they locked it up. So while he was there doing his normal routine check, his colleague, not knowing that he was inside, shut the coal room. And they wouldn't open it till the next morning. So the following day, when they opened the coal room, they discovered that the guy was dead. But before he died, when they shut the coal room, He scribbled on the floor. He said, this cold room is so cold that he cannot survive, that they should tell the wife, tell the daughter, that he loves the daughter. That morning they woke up, they saw him, they found him dead. An autopsy was conducted and he died of cold. But you know what happened? When his colleague shut the door, he switched off the cold room. So there was no light. But what killed that man was cold. How come he died of cold? I was still thinking, that's the power of the mind. Sometimes when we encounter challenges and all that, we have a mindset to process it. So that's a new way of thinking I'm trying to introduce to us. Systematic way of thinking to solve problems. They said I should talk about sales engine, which I will get to that and I'll close from when I touch that sales. Because all my life I'm a born salesman. So I'll teach you techniques and things, ways that you say. I sold from Nigeria to London. So I've conquered both Africa and Europe before setting out to do my own business here. So I'll share some of those insights and how to overcome those challenges. Then another story again. Why I'm telling you this story is how the mind works and how powerful this mind is and how you can use the mind to your advantage. I want you to know that nothing can happen without you. Nothing. Absolutely nothing can happen without you. So it is how the mind accepts or how the mind rejects that creation starts and ends. But funny enough, you know how the mind works. The mind is designed to serve you. So whatever your thinking process or your thought process is, the mind is just a fool that obeys. So any thinking any thoughts that you allow to enter the mind accepts it. It doesn't know if it's good or bad. And you know what the mind does? There's something called an engram. If you do deep psychology, an engram is a recording in the brain tissue that processes every activities and event that is happening around your mind or around you. And it has the power to control you without you knowing. So sometimes you're surprised why people actually achieve certain results and others cannot achieve those same results. All these things happen in the mind. So why am I interested in this? Because I want more people to win. So I didn't know this until I was introduced into this way of thinking. Sometimes things that upset people are shocked and baffled that it doesn't upset me because I know how to reprogram the mind. And the power is in your hand to actually do that. So sometimes when like if I say you're mad, you can laugh, oh, this guy is funny. But then sometimes I say, how dare he say I'm mad? It's just a word. But you know what your mind is? Your mind begins to, and the minute your mind starts on that part, how dare he say that? Does he know where I'm coming from? He begins to line up those things and make you what? A reactive person. Other than being a proactive person, you begin to react to situations and circumstances. I'm just building up something about the mind. Like I said, this man came to this park with his kids. And they were running around while people were trying to read. They were scattering people's papers and all that. So somebody muzzled that courage and went to the man and said, why are you this irresponsible? Can you not control your kids? People are trying to have quiet times and all that, and see how they are running around and all. So the man, he gazed, and with tears all around his eyes, he looked down and he said, maybe I don't know how to react, because I just came from the hospital where the kids lost their mother, which is his wife. So he didn't know where to go to other than to bring the kids to the park. They don't know what is happening. Immediately everybody rushed to say, how can we help you? These are people who were hungry to say, this man cannot control his kids. But when they see, your interpretation of situation, same situation we are all born into. And one would choose that because of the accident of my birth, I cannot be successful. While others will say, there's an advantage in this, or die-hard spirit is being born, never say die. And you keep forging through, breaking. But one man had given up, and the other one still think life is impossible. Life has ended here. It's how they see. The mind begins to process, and the body what obeys. And that's where they say the power of the subconscious, what you have built into the mind, controls the whole of the body. So you start reacting instead of you being caused over things that happen in your life. You know an effect. The effect is a victim story. You want to give reasons why you cannot succeed. You want to give reasons why things cannot work for you. So you start making, and sometimes even the brave, the strong, because we want people to have empathy, we begin to tell pity story. Once you get into that space, you're trapped. Why I'm saying this to you is because it has happened for me. It worked for me. At the age of 24, I had lost both parents. It started from there. I had 4 younger ones in secondary school. I mean, life was hard, like what he was saying, it was tough. At that stage, I didn't know the responsibility my dad had until I became a young father at that age. That I would go and borrow Gary from Gary seller. I'll pay you next tomorrow. I won't pay this man, I'll go to the next man. I'll collect from that man. I won't pay that man, I'll go to the other man. At the end of the day, because when you come back home, they say they're hungry. It breaks your heart. You can't just sit down there. But this is where the mind destroys some people. If you don't create the mind or stay possible, like what you said, the first establishment there was God. Had been established in our life much earlier, which is the foundation. That thing happened, I started running around. So one day, one of the men saw me. I didn't know. So I was trying to sneak. He now called me, said, come. He said, why are you running around? I said, I don't have the money yet and all that. He said, don't worry. When you have the money, pay. Just come to me anytime you need that. So I'm telling this story from somebody who borrowed Gary and never choose to have any other mind or excuses. Today I wear a Rolex of $35,000. $35,000. I drive a G-Wagon. I'm worth over 3 to 4 billion naira. For fact. So I want to tell you things that work, is true, is real, so that you can lose all your excuses. I exhausted all. Again, a story was once told also, like I told you, other people's story of someone who failed all his life, but the day he chose to write about failure, that book made him a billionaire. So what's that story that you're holding on to that you feel people should pity you? Or what's that thing that is new that you feel you cannot overcome as an entrepreneur? What's the problem? Is it bad government? It has been there when Dangote became a billionaire. Is it a problem? It's been there. I don't know if you understand me. Is it government not supporting? It's been there. We became billionaire when all those problems are there. So it's two way of thinking. Somebody saw a land here and sold the land. Another man saw hotel like this, vision, and built this place. I don't know if you understand. If you walk down this road, it was empty land. Someone came and saw it and said, I can build something like this here. One day, he harbored people like us sharing these experiences. So what is the vision you hold up in your mind? And how solid is that vision? Anything you're looking for is looking for you. That's what they call laws of attraction. But how much do you want that? You have a dream that is so big, like what Betty, that dream would have killed her yesterday or the day before yesterday when she came to see me. Do you have a dream that is bigger than you? That you know, if this dream doesn't kill me and I get over this dream, I will come out to become something on the other side. So what's the dream? And one thing I want you to know, people I met for help, for business opportunity and all that, they didn't see what I saw. So they cannot understand how to help me. You know why? Their mind is not big enough to accommodate that. Same thing with the dreams you hold in your mind. Your dream may be too big that the person you're going to for assistance cannot see it. You can't just help him. There's this young pilot who wants to fly to US for the first time. So he went, there's this older pilot in the cockpit, and he told him, he said, it was at night. So when they turn on the engine and the light beam, the light could only beam 10 yards. So this young African pilot, he now said, how do we fly from here to US when we can only see 10 yards? The old man laughed. He said, don't worry. When we get to the end of the first 10 yard, another 10 yard would appear. It's the journey of an entrepreneur. When you know that I want to do this, the how, the why, and all that, they begin to, God or the universe, it begins to align things. My dad used to say, the road to success is always under construction. It has never been constructed. If it's possible for me to do it, it is possible for you to do it. Will it be easy? No. Easy is not an option. Yes, because the beginning is the end, and the end is the beginning of another vision, termination. Because I left Nigeria with 4 of my younger ones and said, I couldn't die. I did not do yahoo. And I did not do fraud in any way. So it's possible to do the real thing and also come out good. I left this country. It was thought that if I don't go out there, I can't support the family back home. I can't do that in Nigeria. It's a dream, and I went out there. So when the man called me for interview, Tyrone, my boss, I got there. I got to Oxford Circle. I'll rush it quickly. So getting to Oxford Circle, I was outside the mall, and I said, I'm here. He said, where are you? After front and back, 2-3 minutes, he said, stay there, I'm coming. He came out of the pavilion. He didn't see me. He said, where are you exactly? He said, go back, read what is outside. I said, Oxford Circle. He said, no. He said, you need to come to Oxbridge Court. Now, Oxbridge from Oxford Circle is zone 1. Oxbridge is zone 6. It's like you leaving Lagos to Benin. And he was waiting to interview me. And that time, survivor, I had only a bus pass. There's a train card. A train or a day travel card can take you both the train and bus. But to travel from bus to that place, like Lagos to Benin. And I told him I will come. He said, okay, do whatever. The man said it was impossible. I said, I will come. He said, do whatever you can to get to. I started the journey. I didn't know my way there. I took one bus. I asked questions. I took one bus. It took me almost 5 hours to get, and the man waited. Tyrone. He didn't speak with me. He asked Diane Simo. If you're on my Facebook page, you'll see her, Diane Simo. He asked the lady to interview me. So he was backing, and the lady was there interviewing me. I started walking. I was posted to Halesbury. So a lady, she's a policewoman. While I was pitching, I was trying to talk to her and all that. She asked me, say, where did I get my click tonguing from? So everything I was saying to that woman was sounding. So my colleague that was working with me, she was hungry. She called the store manager and everybody on this lady if I want to press charges on her. I didn't know. So come back to Diane Simo's story. So she was finding it hard to understand what I was trying to say. Tyrone was there, backed. So I told her, I said, give me 3 months. I will be the top hitter in this company. Poverty has determination though. I said, give me 3 months and I'll be the top hitter in this company, right? The Tyrone man couldn't hold it again. He turned his seats. Because that Diane was tired. You know, how do you start? You can't, your African accent, English and all that. You want to sell to a British man? The Tyrone man said, I'll give you this chance. The day he booked me for training, he came to pick me from train station. After the training, he asked the trainer. The guy said, I like something about him, his determination. I didn't do well because of the communication barrier. And do you know what? Even before the 3rd month, there was a message they used to send the best hitter of the day. My boss wrote, I didn't know I was the top hitter that day. He had wrote a congratulatory message. He said, I know you will make it. That day, I became the top hitter in the company. And it started from there. So how did it happen? It happened that I wanted to do sales. But how do I get from where I am to where I want to be? Information. Under the train, everywhere, I'm listening to sales technique, psychologists of sales. Every great speaker you can ever imagine, motivational speakers, I have their information. So if I want to run a training, I will run training on highlight of these powerful speakers to help transform the mind. Hey. So what do we say? There's something we call AEBS of selling. And there's another thing called AIDA. I'll be wrapping up with this. I'm going to sales now. ABC of selling means A, always, B, then C, closing, always be closing. They said life is a marketplace. Everything you're doing, you're selling. You see, the only way you can succeed in this life is your ability to sell yourself. So how do you start selling yourself? Your presentation, your choice of words, the way you dress, your thinking, you begin to sell yourself from that point. Be sales sensitive to where you want to get to. So every interaction is just a step to your next level. But do you see it? What do you see? Do you first become judgmental to whoever you're talking to? The way they look, the way they talk, the way they sound. Do you judge them when these people owe the treasure to your success? But you have already condemned that person deep in your mind. So one technique Brian Tracy taught, he said, fall in love with everybody. So sometimes people get confused. When you're talking to me, I look straight into your eyes. So people, sometimes they feel like, is he crushing on me or something? I am genuinely interested in you and what you're saying. And I make my choice from there, either good or bad. So how do you look at the next person talking to you? Do you judge him to say he's less intelligent than you? Or do you judge that person because his Hausa, his Yoruba, his Igbo? Or do you begin to see past that and beyond to say there must be something that will lead me to that dream I want to achieve? I'm speaking to somebody who want to make a decision to be an entrepreneur today. Wherever you go to, always be closing. Always be closing means look for those buying signal, they call it. Or that closing opportunity that will take you to where you want to go to. So when you speak to anybody, you speak on this pillar, AIDA, A-I-D-A, yeah? AIDA, A-I-D-A. A is for attention. Same like marketer. There's something they call auditory, visual, kinesthetic. Human beings are divided into these three parts. The auditory sound appeal to them. So you may be talking to somebody, he's not there. He has traveled far because you have no appeal to that emotion that he listens to you. So the auditory person, does it sound right, what I'm saying? You must be able to appeal to that sound emotion for that person to gain the attention and for that person to buy your idea or whatever information you're giving to that person. Then you move to those visual. Do you see clearly what I'm saying? If I show you, do you see what I'm saying? Then the kinesthetic, they are testers. If they don't test it, they don't feel, there is no way they will accept anything you give it to them. So what do we do as people who are passionate and determined to succeed? We combine the three. So when you come in contact with somebody, you want to sell your dream ideas and opportunity, you must pay attention and combine what would sound, or how can this person see or feel my pain or feel what I'm saying? There's something they call law of cosmic habit force. Cosmic habit force is permanent law of nature. It's vibration. When you think about something, you hold something in your thoughts. You're thinking about somebody, you'll be shocked that the next few minutes the person is calling you or the person appears. It's vibration. That's how they created the telephone. You see the telephone, it takes sound and vibrate that sound to your transistor that transmits that sound, and to wherever space it travels to get there, that receiver takes that sound and slows down and begin to interpret it. This is how vibration work. And it's science. I'm talking about science now. Molecule, atom. Do you understand? Everything, energy, it's vibration. How much do you want the success? If you don't vibrate to the frequency of the success, it goes to another man who wants it that deep. What I'm saying, it's possible because it has happened to me. I'm not saying abstract. I'm saying reality. This emotion you see and passion, it's because I know you work. So why are you not taking advantage of it? The reason is some of us, we don't know. So you don't have any excuses. And you know what happened to you? When you know and you cannot use, you get punished. And that's why people are punished with poverty. Because what do you do with the information that you have? It's meant to empower you But if you don't use that power, it will punish you. No two ways about it. Like I said, attention, then interest. So whoever you're talking to, you must get their attention. Once you get their attention, what are you doing with their attention? Then you begin to bring people to make quick decisions. That's why I said that ABC, always be closing. You bring them to make quick decisions. If not, if they stay there for too long, they will forget and they will move on to something else. The mind vibrates. The mind cannot stay. That's why we think about frivolities. Can you get the mind to concentrate for 1 minute? It's hard. The mind wanders everywhere. You have to first train the mind to stay. So once you get people's interest, you begin to get them to make decision about you, helping you otherwise and all that. Then you can attend all the whole seminars, listen to all the whole books, read everything. Without the last one, action. Nothing happened. Decision. Then action. That action is everything you know must be put into practice. I want you to know that whatever that has happened to you happened for a reason. I think everyone should say it after me. Whatever that has happened to me happened for a reason. And there's a great lesson, and I will succeed. So I'll tell one story, then I'll do that. There's this man called Abunku. He lives in Benue State. So Abunku was a native man. The missionary came and they baptized him and gave him John. So the missionary man traveled abroad. While he was away, Abunku set trap on Good Friday. He caught rats. He asked the wife to prepare pounded yam. So the missionary came on that very day. When Abunku was washing his hand, ready to eat the pounded yam and bush rat meat, the missionary now said, "Stop! You can't eat meat on Good Friday as a Catholic and John." Abunku said, "No, it's not meat." He said, "It's fish." The missionary man said, "No, it's rat, it's meat." He said, "No." He said, when he caught the rat, he baptized the rat, and the rat is now fish. So, how do you tell a man that is a Abuku that his name is John? And after that day, the man started bearing John. So what happened? It's just him accepting it and believing it. If not, same thing with any name they have called you before. Any name they have called you that is not something like success or achievement or fulfillment, I want to alter that. It just takes a simple thing, believe, and it manifests. So if you think your family people have chased you for years, do you know what those poverty spirit doesn't? They don't like riches. So if you stay poor, they will keep haunting you. You have to overcome them with riches. That's a new way of thinking. Do you see those people who attack rich people? No, they would have killed Dangote. They would have killed all these rich people. They don't attack rich people. Because when they come, they will die. They can't see. Those riches is beyond them. The more you stay poor, they will attack you. Leave their circle. That's what I want to show you. So that's mind of John, just by saying, I have accepted my new name from Abuku to John. You have the power to do that now. And you know what? The greatest prayer is in the Bible. I want to show you. And when you say it, it's done. It's done. It's just like baptism. Once they pour that water, it's just a symbol. of that inward conviction, that thing inside that you accepted, that now I'm no longer a sinner. How did that happen? It's that simple. But why is it hard for us to accept it? That's what I'm telling you. It's easy. It's that easy. And when you accept it, you begin to live it from now. Even when you hit your leg on the stone, it doesn't mean you keep going. Like what Les Brown would say, if you want to fall facing up backward. When you can see the sky, you can stand up. So, this thing I said I want to share with us, a vow. I will speak only what I wish to see. It's a vow you're making. I will speak only what I wish to see. I will declare my success until it becomes my reality. I will no longer give energy to what that weakens me. In Nigeria or anywhere. So we'll say that prayer now. So this prayer, you can find it in the Bible. I believe in the Bible. Yeah, is in Isaiah 10:27. The Bible I believe in says, if two agrees. So that's the agreement. So on behalf of those who are weak, and you know what? Like I said from the early stage, that mindset, that frame. Some people, even you say yes, that mind is telling you, he's saying something else to you. But it's that frame that kept you. But we're trying to reframe you to say there's a new way of thinking, and that thinking is acceptance. That's all you need to do. That's all. So Isaiah 10:27. Now in Isaiah 10:27, he said, and it shall come to pass in that day that his burden shall be taken away off thy shoulder, and his yoke also burden from off his neck, and the yoke and burden shall be destroyed because of the anointing. Why can you not believe? So this is your reality now. Thank you very much.